Hey guys, Scare Factor here. Before the video starts, I just want to say, I know I'm not really good at narrating these stories right now. I'm working on it, and I will hopefully get better. But, this is just the start of my scary storytelling career. Thanks for watching anyway, though. See ya. In this story, I'm a 15-year-old, and my parents finally let me get the social media platform Instagram. I really wanted Instagram because all my friends had it, but I heard stories about creepers and stuff who always lurk on this website or app I had on my little phone. I learned my lesson now to never give away personal information, but my bio, it had my phone number, the city I lived in, and even my email address. And in my photos, I'd post my location on them. Anyways, this guy just likes all my photos on my account. At the time, I have like 177. So he took the time out of his day to like all 177 photos of my Instagram account. I was pretty creeped out. I checked the guy's account. It was like a 40-year-old man. He was bald. Then he slid into my DMs. He DM'd me, yo, and it was about 2 a.m. I didn't get it until the next morning at around 7 a.m. I said, hey, and he quickly replies, do I know you? Now this is weird, because in his photos he looks really old, but he's asking a 14-year-old if he knows them. Actually, no, I wasn't 14 at the time, I was about 15, like I said at the beginning of the story. Sorry guys, I made a typo writing this. Anyways, he tells me I'm a very beautiful person, which I find weird, and he tells me if he ever wants a ride home from school. I walk home from school. I find it a little odd, because he automatically thought that I walked home from school. He didn't assume that I rode the bus or got a ride. I was a little creeped out. I told him, why is he talking to a 15-year-old girl, and I blocked him. Then, I got followed request from another account the next morning. It was called Mike's Gonna Kill You 2011. I don't know why it was 2011, because the man looked really old. And at the time it was about 2015, I think. Yeah, 2015. That was when I was 15, because I was born in 2000. Anyway, Mike's Gonna Kill You DM'd me, and he said, why'd you block my main account? I said he was scaring me. He didn't like this at all. He told me that I better watch out, and I got creeped out, and I had to tell my parents. They called the police and found this guy. He's been watching me for like the last month and looking on my Instagram, and he had a whole notebook of all the data. The time I get out of school, my house address. He was planning to come pick me up or something, fake to be my uncle and quote, take me out somewhere. I don't know what this guy was going to do, but it's one of the scariest experiences of my life. I know it's a kind of short story, but thank you for listening. Growing up, I lived in a really rural part of New York. There wasn't a lot of buildings, and there wasn't a lot of houses. They were mostly all spread out. But right by my house, there's a locally owned gas station called Bob's Gas and stuff. Yeah, that was the name. I knew the owner personally. His name was Bob. He was a little bit of a creep. That's why I'm going to tell you the story. I thought he was harmless until this one day. My grandma was cooking food up for us, and she said to go down to Bob's and stuff to get us some milk. She also asked to bring my little cousin, who was staying with us for a while. I say sure, and I go down there. Once I leave the door, I close it and lock it, but then I remember that Bob's a creep. Why the hell am I bringing my little cousin here? Bob stares at people, little kids, the wrong way. I shouldn't be doing this. Bob has recently been out of jail for drug trafficking. His store just reopened. I was really nervous about this. I'd never thought of it until now, until my grandma told me to go get milk. I forgot all about it. So, anyways, I'm going down the dirt road, and I see this car following me. It's Bob. He rolls down the windows and he says, "Where you fine ladies going?" We tell him we're going down to his store. He acts surprised. He's acting like he scripted this out and has been rehearsing for this for a while. I don't know how to explain it, just his expression just felt acted. Anyways, he told us if we would like a ride, and knowing the stuff that Bob does, I said no. Just being a foot away from his car, I could smell the cigarette smoke. He gets a little mad and he drives a little closer to us. He says, "Get in the damn car." At this point, I'm freaked out. And did I tell you, I was only like a 2-minute walk from my house? Cell phones weren't around. This was back in 2001. I did have a flip phone. My dumbass forgot to bring it. I left it in my house. So, I didn't want to make him any more angry because I know that Bob's ass owned a bunch of guns. So, I told him, sure, and me and my little cousin got in the car. My little cousin didn't say anything the whole time. She's probably confused as hell about what's going on. She looked scared. I tell him, "Can we just please go to the store? I only need to get one thing." He says, "I want to show you something first," and he starts driving the opposite way. I start banging on the window and telling him if he doesn't let us go, I'm gonna tell my grandma, and I pretend like I have a phone on me, and that I'll actually call the cops. But I don't, and that's the problem. I don't know what I'm gonna do. I'm trapped in this car with this random ass dude. He drives to this old log cabin, and there's 3 other old men outside, all smoking cigarettes. I hear one of the men say, "How much?" Bob says, $2,000. And then the other old guy says, "Who's this little girl?" Bob says, "I think it's her cousin. That'll be an extra $1,000. One of the 3 old men pulls out a gun and points the gun at him. It says, "I want all 3 of you guys to get in my car right now." This is weird, and I oblige, because I'm held at gunpoint. I don't even know what to do. Well, the 3 men, they set Bob up. They drove me and my little cousin home. And then it turns out that Bob's been stalking me for the last year. Those 3 men were police under disguise, acting like they were gonna buy me and my cousin or something. Yeah, it's a little bit disturbing. But anyways, like I said, he was stalking me for the last year. And turns out he knew my schedule. He overheard my grandma say to go get milk as he was waiting outside. Now, I'm creeped out about all the other stuff he's been listening to. The story takes place in the 80s. I used to go to a mall a lot with my friends about every Saturday. Also, this is a really short story because I just have too much things to do and I don't really want to type it out. But anyways, I go to the mall like once a week with my friends on a Saturday, and we just walk around, go shops, talk bad about the boys at our school. We're pretty emo. Um, we go to some 80s emo stores. I don't remember that much. Anyways, so there was this old guy we saw following us this one time. He was wearing a leather jacket. He was like 6'2", pretty tall, and he kept following us. I was wearing a choker with spikes coming out, and he'd come up to me and talk about how nice of a choker it is. Anyways, the next day we saw news that he frequents that mall a lot, and he goes there, and he's a drug dealer, and he got busted, and now he's going to jail for like a year. Uh, I know it's not really one of the scariest stories, but I just wanted to get my story out there. My parents split a long time ago, and I'd switch houses. Sometimes I'd stay with my mom, sometimes I'd stay with my dad. My dad lived in a really crappy apartment. It was in a rundown neighborhood, but right across the street there was a park. The park had spray paint all over it and stuff like that, and there was usually teenagers on it. smoking and drinking, but this time there wasn't any. That was good. That means I could finally go out. My dad looked out and checked, and yeah, they weren't there, so he let me go down. Me and my sister went down there and we played in the sandbox. This old guy, looked like he's in his mid-40s, came up to us and he sat with us. We're making sandcastles at the time, and he said something like, "Is that a sandcastle? I wish I could live in it with you." I laughed. I thought stuff like this was funny. I was a weird little kid. Anyways, I guess my dad looked out the window and he saw me talking to the old man, so he called me in. When I went in, he told me who I was talking to, and I told him I made a new friend. The next week, I go to my mom's house and nothing much happens. But then, a week later, I go back to my dad's house, and unluckily, the park is clear again. No teenagers. So I go again, and we run around on the playground, and the same old guy comes. He sits on the bench and reads his newspaper. He drops it, and he kind of throws it where it can go towards me. I'm on the monkey bars, and it goes towards me, and I catch it. It says, "Oh, did you drop that? How about you come over here and bring it to me?" I'm like, "Oh, okay." So I get up off the monkey bars, and I start walking towards him, and he's just pointing at me, and like moving his fingers towards me, like, "Yes, come on, come on." And I hear a bush shake behind me, so I'm a little creeped out. At this point, my dad saw the same old guy and told me to come inside. I walk inside and I turn around and I see him entering this white SUV. He looks at me and he winks and he drives off. A week later, to my surprise, we go on the news and we see this man. Apparently, he's been going to the park and talking to kids. We don't know what he was gonna do, but I'm pretty sure nothing good. He got sent to probation for about a year. I'm glad I didn't go towards him and return that newspaper. Was there someone in that bush? I'll never know. Hey guys, Scare Factor here again. Yeah, I know I've been talking a lot, but I finally got my computer fixed for my channel. Um, I'm really happy I got my second video, actual scary story video done. Um, I might upload like in 2 days again. I think I'm gonna do, maybe just like normal scary stories. I don't know. I'm really like the internet predator ones. I might do more of those. I might do chat room ones. I really like online stuff and stuff like that. Like, I might do dark web soon too. But thanks for watching as always. I like the support. I know I sound like a little kid. Thanks guys. I'll see you guys later.